Today we are going to talk about Webpack Dev Server. So first we need to know why we need Webpack Dev Server anyway. So we have been running this index.html with VS Code live server, but it is not recommended way to do so, since we have been configuring Webpack for our build and all. So Webpack has the capability to configure in such a way so that we can run our entire web application through Webpack itself. So the module or the package come in handy to do so is Webpack Dev Server. So in order to do this thing, we need to install Webpack Dev Server package. So let's start that over here. So okay, so let's install this as dev dependencies, Webpack Dev Server. So so you can go through the documentation itself, and you can check whether what are the services, what are the things we need to do, because it is always recommended that when you are configuring something, so when you are configuring something with some build tool or something, they have the proper documentation, right? So if you follow through the documentation, then you would be able to understand what are the things you need to install, or what are the steps you can work on, right? So it is always recommended that you go through the documentation. You are not building any logic over here, so find logic anywhere, or it has to be built by yourself only. But this such configuration like Webpack Dev Server, you can do it by reading the documentation, and I highly recommend you to do that. I'm going to do the same for this tutorial as well, but let me do it right now. Let me do it, show you how we can configure it. So then after installing this Webpack Dev Server, we need to go to this webpack config.js, and there we need to write web dev server object. So it will be responsible to run the web server. Next we have to write which static assets or which static folder or directory it needs to serve. So that is why we are going to write static object, where we will tell where that index.html file located. So we are going to do dir name, it is the root of this entire project, and then we have the index.html at dist. Okay, so it is there already. So you can so when Webpack Dev Server, when we are going to run the Webpack Dev Server, it will find its resource from dist, and it is going to run as it is. Now since we are running it into a server, so server always needs to run onto a port, so we need to mention the port here as well. So let's write which port this server is going to run on. So you can give anything you want, like 9999 or 9099 or 9090, or even you can provide 8089, whatever. Don't put 8080 because by default there are lots of service available in the Windows system which are already taking this 8080 port. Like if you want to run your server on the Apache Tomcat, by default it runs on the 8080 port. So so in order to make it run, or in order to check it whether it's not going to conflict with any other server, just give a unique port over here. So that's why I'm going to put 9099, and then I am going to run this. I'm going to write over here Webpack serve, so that it is going to serve that folder. Okay, so now let's write npm run build. Let me stop this. Yeah, let me stop the live server and let me open. So there is an error. COs. So I need to check whether where I have localhost 9099. Let me check. So in index.js file, maybe I have done this index.js file. Okay, so Webpack Dev Server is running now. Let me increase the font a bit. Okay, so you see this Webpack Dev Server is running right now because I have given it the path, or the distribution path where all these HTML and bundle will be deployed, and they're going to serve from this folder only. So what we can do next, that we can write watch to over here, so that if any changes, if I'm going to do any change over here only, then it's going to take the change and it is going to work accordingly. Okay, so let me put a num2 and let me write 300 and let me put like this. So you see the current value is now 600, and you can also see that we have Webpack Dev Server running. Server started, hot module replacement also enabled. So in this way we can configure our Webpack so that Webpack can run the server from itself. Next thing which is very important for us, that is plugins. Okay, so here are the plugins. How can you use the plugins? You can get it over here. Let me go through the simpler one, what you are going to use most frequently. Let me go through that one for now. So here is a plugin called HTML Webpack plugin, which you are going to use it frequently, and what it will do, it will create a index.html file. Means we are going to create an index.html file into source itself, and it is and when we are going to build our application, it is going to be it is going to create, or it is going to replicate a bundled version of that HTML file into this distribution folder or public, whatever you want to name it. So you can it can do so. Let me show you how that works actually. So you are going to install it in your system. Okay, then you are going to configure it. So there is another object. We can create another object called plugin. Okay, there we it will accept an array actually, and here we are going to write this function. Okay, we need to import this over here as well, because this HTML Webpack plugin is missing right now. So if when you are going to run this Webpack, it's going to throw you an error. So in order to do so, you have to copy this thing and you're going to install it over here. So what is it is going to do, let me run it, and you will be able to see that I'm not going to use this right now. Not going to use this, and I'm going to and let me create a new entry. Start. I'm going to write Webpack serve over here only, and I'm going to write Webpack on build. Okay. So I'm terminating this operation, and I'm going to build it only. Okay, so you see we have our dist folder ready, and this index.html had been created. Yeah, this this index.html had been created. We have this index.html nowhere, but it has been created because we just installed this HTML Webpack plugin, and it is responsible for do create a new index.html into my this folder. You can also see that this bundle_index.js had been created as well, because we have written the same thing over here. Let's make it simplified, bundle only, bundle.js, and let's delete this dist folder, and let's make this name public, because we are going to deploy this public folder into our web server. So let's build it first. So you see it has been built, and index.html had been created, and here this bundle.js had been referred as a JS source, right? And what we are going to do, we are going to serve this folder as well. So in order to do so, we need to run npm run start. Okay, so when we are so it's going to run on this server. So you see this index dot whatever we have written already, it is there. So if I put another constant, is another variable over here 4, and make it 500, and let me add this up as well. So it's going to work, because what is going on over here, because it's serving itself, right? Means it is building and it is serving itself. So in this way, we can, whatever we are going to do in this index.json file, in this JS file, that is going to be, means we are going to get our instance of this entire index.js file into this public folder. You see that index.html had been generated as well. And now what we can do, we can take this public, whatever the contents of this public folder, and put it into our web server, and they are going to work just as it is. So now we have seen that this public HTML file folder had been created, and we have index and bundle JS had been created as well. But we want this index.html, means we want to write some codes or some HTML tags into index.html, and we want that index.html gets deployed or gets created into that public folder. In order to do so, you need to create a new file called index.html over here, and you are going to write some codes. Let's say doc type this HTML code over here, head body, and in this head you are going to write a title, and we are going to write percent equal HTML Webpack Plugin dot options dot title over here, and in our body we need to write the same, but here it will be body tags dot tags. All right, and we need to configure this thing as well. So we are going to have object created. There we need to write a file name. So what the file name it will create index.html. What is going to be the template? So template, we are having this index.html. Where is it located? Source / index.html, and then there must be a title as well. So let me Webpack Dev. So now if we are going to build this thing, npm run build, then it must not give me an error. It has given me an error. So reading, so type error, cannot read properties of undefined tags. Sorry for this mistake. It should be like this only. So let me run it once more. Yeah, you see and this public folder had been created as well, and a new types of so let me run it as well. Start. Okay, you see we have this Webpack Tut as per this title. We have this index.html had created, and it is taking this index.h and the template is this index.html. Okay, so how would we confirm that it is the same index.html? From here only it is taking that entire thing, means it is creating the HTML. So let us put a tag over here, Webpack tutorial. if it is means if this template is being used to create this bundle, then we are going to be sure that this is the template we are using, right? So make it build first. Okay, so and then we start the server. So Webpack tutorial, so you see this Webpack tutorial is now present. So it is the template. We have created a template with the help of HTML Webpack plugin. There we need to pass some arguments like this. You need to prettify this thing a bit. We can prettify this thing a bit like so we can, so with the help of this HTML Webpack plugin, we can create this template, and we can create whatever we want into this. Means if we do something, some code over here, if we write a p tag and some descriptions over here, then it's going to it is going to come here only, because we have created this template already and Webpack had been configured in such a way. Here Webpack serve had been created such a way that it is compiling the contents, the files and folders in source folder, and making a bundle into public. And now we can deploy this public folder into our server in order to get the application ready running on the server. So this is the way we actually architect our web application. We architect our web application and we build our web application through Webpack config. So these are the automated build tool we can use in our web application. So from this moment on, I'm going to elaborate, and I'm not going to progress the JavaScript tutorial from this structures only. So I'm going to write different JavaScript codes, creating a different component folder, and I'm going to serve those JavaScript files from component with a structured way, and we are going to automate entire JavaScript application from this webpack config.js. Okay, so next we are going to learn about and maybe we are going to enter into the JavaScript world next. I will be starting from ES5 and then I will move into the ES6. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and just stick with me. So I'm going to get you some really cool software engineering related videos. So and I'm sure you are going to learn something out of those video tutorial, and I will see you soon in my next video. Thank you.